Welcome back to Arise Xchange. It's an equal internet for all. At least that's what the Federal Communications Commission is promising. The regulators impose the toughest rules yet on internet providers to ensure what they call fair treatment of all web traffic through networks. The FCC's stated goal is to make sure all internet players have access to the same speed, so providers cannot charge for faster speeds. Erik Stallman is the director of the Open Internet Project at the Center for Democracy and Technology, a nonprofit organization which supports net neutrality, and he joins us from Washington, D.C. Erik, welcome to Arise Xchange.
Thank you.
Is this a solution to a problem that does not exist? That is what critics of net neutrality are saying, that there hasn't been these increased charges yet. Why is the government getting in now?
Well, I don't think that's accurate. I think that there have been instances in the past when ISPs have engaged in blocking or throttling of specific web traffic, and in those cases, the FCC has really had to scramble for establishing its authority to act, and that really interferes with the very successful status quo of non-discrimination on the internet. So I think what the rules do today is they establish clear authority for the FCC to act in those cases.
You know, Mark Cuban, who knows something about this because he launched Broadcast.com, said now politicians and regulators are going to be in charge of highly technical and complex issues that they may not be equipped to be in charge of, and that we just don't know, including the internet startups and the small companies, we just don't know what the effects are going to be.
I don't think that's entirely accurate. I mean, I think that the rules contain three very basic, bright line requirements: no blocking, no throttling, and no paid prioritization. And I think that if you see the people who have been the most active in sort of pushing the FCC towards strong rules based on clear authority, it really has been the startups and the venture capitalists that back them.
Yeah, well, it is actually interesting because there was some very good stories today about how the startups, without a huge lobby group over the past 6 to 8 months or so, really changed the mind of the president, didn't they? And certainly the chair of the FCC, who had apparently been leaning towards creating a fast lane on the internet.
Right. Well, I think that definitely the startups and that community played a large role, but I think it's really impossible to overstate the role that direct public engagement by internet users played. I mean, there were more than 4 million comments submitted to the FCC, and those comments overwhelmingly supported an open internet.
Okay, so now what does the future look like when you talk to, and it appears to be maybe somewhat cynical and saber-rattling, when you talk to the AT&Ts of the world and Time Warner Cables of the world, they say, we're not going to invest anymore in infrastructure if we cannot get a return on our investment. Why do they not have a point?
Well, I think you have to look at different statements that they make to different audiences. I mean, there have been some major providers, T-Mobile, Sprint, who have really shrugged off the investment-related concerns and said that this won't really interfere with their practices. And I think that when some other ISPs have spoken to the investment community, it's been different than what they said to the regulatory community. I mean, there are definitely issues that we'll need to work out, but none of these should really, I think, impact in a terrible way the innovation and the investment that occur both over the internet and at the edges.
And do you think it's accurate to call then the internet a public utility, like your phone company once was a public utility, and energy companies?
No, I don't think the public utility analogy has been totally accurate or totally helpful. What Title II reclassification does is it does treat ISPs sort of similar to a common carrier, but you know, taxis or UPS is similar to a common carrier as well. And all this really means is you can't sort of deny service to people, and you can engage in unreasonable discrimination.
And so if you're a Netflix subscriber, for example, why not have the right to pay for faster speeds so you can watch faster? Is that not sort of what the market demands?
Well, I think that the subscriber will be able to pay for faster speed. I mean, right now we do have tiered internet, so you can get 15 megabits per second, or you can get 105 megabits per second. What these rules say is that the other end, the edge provider, will not be able to pay for faster access to that consumer, and that's important to people like Netflix, but it's also important to the next Netflix that knows that to launch their service, they won't also have to incur the cost of individually negotiating access with each ISP.
Okay, Erik Stallman, the director of the Open Internet Project, Center for Democracy and Technology, an excellent walkthrough of the new regulations, and appreciate today. Thank you.
Great, thank you.